There's no denying the fact that when it comes to new cars, there's been a severe drop in quality, especially when we talk about the German manufacturers like Audi. They're now filling their once premium cabins full of plastic, and customers aren't too impressed. But there's one car brand which is actually, well, more high in quality than it's ever been, and that's Mazda. If you're fed up of the German brands and you're looking for a new family car which still has that high quality premium feel, then why don't you take a look at the Mazda CX-5? Hi guys, I'm Tish and welcome back to the John Banks Review channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you exactly why I think the Mazda CX-5 makes a fantastic premium family car. So if that sounds good, then please keep watching. If you like new car reviews and car content, hit the subscribe button. And if you wanted any more information on the CX-5, including pricing and availability, then you can either get in contact via the John Banks Group website or click the link down in the description box. The CX-5 underwent some subtle yet impactful changes last year. The front end is now more vibrant with a smarter grille design, showcasing a 3D pattern which adds texture and personality. The headlights have also been updated, featuring a new cluster design with two C-shaped LED strips. The same design motif is mirrored around the back with the taillights, which are divided into two sections by the boot line. The bumpers have also been redesigned with a simpler shape, contributing to a cleaner and more polished look for both the front and rear of the vehicle. As soon as you get comfortable behind the steering wheel of the CX-5, this is where the uplift in quality compared to almost all of its rivals is apparent. Everything in this cabin feels so well built and so soft and high quality. In fact, you'll find leather almost everywhere in this cabin. I am in the slightly higher spec model, but still, you've got leather all the way to the back of the windscreen, which is almost unheard of in cars nowadays. As you work your way down, you will find some slightly less high quality materials, but even those still feel quite high quality compared to even more premium products like Audi's nowadays. Because this is a sporty trim, you've got a little bit of almost false carbon, and then you've got some chrome which runs along the centre, surrounds the air vents, and you've also got some on the steering wheel and down the centre console as well. It kind of brightens everything up a bit. Also, because this is the sporty model, as well as the little bit of almost false carbon, you also get some red stitching on the steering wheel and on the seats. These seats are great. They feel really good quality. They're so soft, so comfortable. And also, if you go for the slightly higher spec models, not only are they electrically adjusted, but they also have memory functions and they're heated as well. So if you're sharing this car with a second person, you can have yours and their driving setup kind of fixed at all times, so you're not arguing about who's moved the seat, and it means that the other person's uncomfortable when driving. You'll find a 10.25-inch screen and a digital dashboard styled to look like conventional dials, which should suit most people. There's still lots of dials for controlling the climate control, as well as lots of lovely buttons for things such as heated seats and heated steering wheel. Uniquely, the screen is not controlled via touch, and instead via a dial in the centre console. This old-school approach makes finding features whilst driving much simpler than stabbing at the screen. If you're somebody who covers a lot of miles and would still favour a diesel engine, then Mazda is a great brand to go for. Because whilst other manufacturers are ditching their diesels altogether or just giving up on developing them, Mazda is doing the opposite. Not only is it working hard on developing its petrol engines, but it's also working hard on developing the diesels. In fact, if you go for the larger plug-in hybrid CX-60, that can be had as a diesel, which is pretty rare to get a plug-in hybrid diesel. In terms of the CX-5, it can be had in 3 different engines, depending on what trim level you go for. For most of the trim levels, you can get a 2-litre petrol, or if you go for the higher spec or sporty models, you can get a 2.5-litre petrol. If you want a diesel, then this is a 2.2-litre diesel and can once again be had with the higher spec models. You can get the option of either a manual or an automatic gearbox, and all versions of the engine get eSkyActiv technology. Simply put, and not to overwhelm with information, SkyActiv engines can compress air-fuel mixture in the cylinders to an extraordinary degree, squeezing far more energy from every drop of fuel. This makes the Mazda engines able to perform as well as a larger engine, but get the fuel economy of a much smaller one. If you go for the diesel, you can easily see in excess of 50 miles per gallon. Opt for those petrols, the smaller engine will get around 40 miles per gallon, and the slightly larger engine will drop to 35 because of the more performance. The CX-5 makes a really good family car, especially if you're carrying 4 people. 3 in the back here could be a bit of a squeeze unless it's smaller children, but it's great for 4 people. I've got plenty of legroom and I've got loads of headroom as well. I also love this pull-out armrest because in here you've got 2 cup holders, somewhere to pop your mobile phone, and inside this little storage area, you've also got 2 USB ports, which I think is pretty cool. Nowadays, you kind of expect to see them in this center console, but I quite like that. It feels a little bit different, and I can't really think of any negatives other than if you wanted some extra ones from the front, it might be quite far to stretch. I know that sometimes I've done that if I've got loads of things plugged in, but let's face it, how often do you have more than 2 USBs plugged in at one time? It's really comfortable once again in the back of this cabin here, and the only negative I would say is because that sunroof doesn't come all the way back, it does feel a little bit dark. That practicality is also extended around to the boot of the CX-5, where if you go for some of the higher spec models, you can get electrically adjusting. This is really handy if you've got your hands full of shopping. And talking about shopping, you can do a lot of it in this car. Inside the boot, you'll find 506 litres, which is extremely competitive, and that's more than enough for everything you need for a family holiday. It's also quite good in its practicality. You get a retractable parcel shelf, which can be easily stored away, and you've got a few hooks for your luggage and also a few tether points as well. You also get this flat boot floor, so it's easy to lift items in and out. You can slide them down, and you get an adjustable boot floor with extra storage underneath. It's all very handy. However, it doesn't come with a spare wheel as standard, unfortunately. But what it does have, it has rear seats which are split 40-40-20, which is pretty rare nowadays. Just the interior, where build quality is so apparent. You can also feel it in the way that it drives. The Mazda CX-5 drives just as well as some of the most famous Mazda cars, like for instance the MX-5. Okay, you can't quite chuck it into corners like you can with the MX-5, but even spirited driving is handled quite well with the CX-5. You quickly forget the weight of this vehicle and the fact that it is a family car. But what about the family car stuff? What's it like on the school run? Well, it's very good at that as well. It does have a very comfortable setup. These seats are really plush. That leather just gives you a high quality driving experience. It soaks up bumps in the road well, although it does have a slightly stiffer setup compared to some of its rivals. But that does help with that driver engagement. I don't think it's going to be enough to notice by your passengers that they feel that the bumps are a little bit too harsh, but it's just enough so that you don't feel car sick. You don't feel like you're floating along. You still feel connected to the car. The C5X offers a range of 5 trim levels. The entry-level centre line, which comes well equipped with adaptive cruise control, dual zone climate control and parking aids. Moving up to the new ground trim, you'll find a more rugged appearance, but it doesn't come with any additional equipment apart from larger 19-inch alloy wheels. For those looking for added luxury, the exclusive line adds leather-heated seats, a heated steering wheel, keyless entry and a head-up display. The Hamora trim that I've been driving focuses on aesthetic enhancements, like black alloy wheels, while the top-of-the-line Takumi trim adds Napa leather, a powered tailgate, and various other features, including a 360-degree camera. So if you're disappointed with the ever-dropping quality of your German manufacturers and you're looking to make a switch to another brand, then why not try Mazda? If it's not the CX-5, then you can also take a look at the larger CX-60, which has some fantastic plug-in options. I really hope you have enjoyed the video today, guys. What do you think of the CX-5? Let me know in the comments down below. Perhaps you made the switch from something like an Audi Q3 to the Mazda CX-5. Have you regretted your decision? We'd love to know your opinions. If you have enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more, then hit the subscribe button. And of course, if you did have any further questions or queries about the Mazda CX-5, then you can get in contact with John Banks Mazda in Colchester or click the link down below. Until next time, see you later.